My guest is Jo Rae Perkins, running for U.S. Senate. This is show 2. We did show 1. We talked about pro-life issues, which is very, very important, but there are so many other issues going on, as we all know. And so we're going to be talking about all of that, whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you
for having me back again.
Yes. Thank you, Jo Rae.
You're welcome.
We need to get you as much out there so we can
people know
elect somebody.
Yeah. Know who I
'Cause
am a little bit.
Yep, because you're smart, you make sense, and
Thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, yep.
Well, this has been a crazy time, as you know. So I wanted to talk a little bit, tell you what I did earlier today.
Okay.
I went up to Portland and we shot a video. I showed you some of the pictures earlier today. And so I've been very concerned. I've sat back for 60 days now and watched and listened and prayed. And I don't see these events ending. The media wants to tell us these are peaceful protests. Mayor Ted Wheeler last week went downtown, which is literally across the street from where his office is at the City Hall, to stand with the protesters. And then he got, I don't know if it was tear gas or pepper spray. I'm not sure which came at him. But they told him to quit, and he was shocked. He doesn't get it because he's with the government. He doesn't get it. They don't care that you're on their side. If you're with the government, you're bad. This is about anarchy. This is about destroying our country, which we talked a little bit about early on the first interview. But I wanted to go down there and see for myself. Graffiti everywhere. Businesses boarded up. Yeah, it's bad enough that we're dealing with this COVID crisis. And people are walking around their masks and having a hard time making eye contact and making sure, that they go way out of their way so they don't get closer than 6 feet. People are walking around in fear. And now we've got this protest. And Portland's motto has been "Keep Portland weird." Well, I don't know how much weirder they want to get. But it's not good. I have here in my notebook a couple of printouts. One is from the 24th, one is from the 26th. And anybody can go online and see this. This is the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Portland riots readout. So you could put Portland riots read-out and put the date. So we've got I printed July 24th and July 25th. I don't know why I didn't print the 26th. So the 27th, so yesterday, last night, early this morning, wasn't available until this morning. I was already gone. But it's really interesting how they do this. So this is the 24th. By 9:15 p.m. local time, over 1,500 protesters had peaceably assembled near the Hatfield Federal Courthouse. This is Department of Homeland Security. 1,500 protesters peacefully assembled. Okay? Our Constitution, First Amendment, says we have the right to peaceably protest our government with a redress of grievances. Redress means a list of grievances. We have the right to peaceably protest. Peacefully protested. They were assembled at 9:15. Around 10:49 p.m. local time, the attack on federal property and officers began when the rioters began to use lasers that can cause permanent blindness against federal offices in the courthouse. So an hour and a half later, it went from peaceful protest to rioting. So what you see on the news is a smidgen at 9:15 to an hour and a half later. 2 days later, they talk about the Portland Police Bureau's precinct, which was believed to be a main target of activity the night of the 26th, that is right across the street. That's where we did our filming in front of today. At 9:30, so 2 days later, so the 24th, 1,500 people, the 26th, at 9:36 p.m. local time, a reported 4,000 to 5,000 individuals, not 1,500 individuals, gathered around the courthouse at 10:40 p.m. just over an hour later.
Wow.
Local time, violent actors began to try and cut the fence protecting the courthouse perimeter as they have attempted every night since it was erected. Federal officers were forced to use pepper balls to repel the attempts and prevent further damage to federal property. Rioters initially stopped their attack on the fence but quickly returned with shields to continue. At 10:55 p.m., officers were once again forced to go outside the courthouse in order to stop the attempts to cut the fence. At 11:08 p.m. local time, an unknown chemical substance was sprayed on the Federal Police Service. Officers and other officers were assaulted with hard projectiles from the crowd. Local time, 11:19, it was declared an unlawful assembly, and it goes on and it goes on. Heavy laser attacks from the rioters. All of this information is public. So if people want to know what is going on, they can go online and see it. Now, we did find out that last night people were live streaming and the crowd was getting on them. They go, stop live streaming. Why? Because they're showing really what's going on down there. They don't want people to see what is going on.
Have you ever followed Millie Weaver? Do you know who she is?
No.
Okay, so somebody she knows infiltrated
Okay.
Antifa. And what they do is they have a red group of people and a green
Yeah,
group of
yeah,
people. Okay, so you know this.
So I saw some of that on a video a couple months ago.
Okay, yeah. So one group of people are peacefully protesting. They're the same group, but they're trying to mislead people. So they have the peaceful ones, and then they have the ones that are going to be the anarchist.
Yeah.
But they're all anarchist.
They're all anarchist. So as a federal candidate, why would I care? Because this is a city issue, except for they're attacking a federal building. And the Constitution says that the federal government can have 10 square miles, which is Washington, D.C., for the seat of the government, plus needful buildings, etc. That's the district courthouse for federal cases. It is federal property. And President Trump has the right to send in federal law enforcement to protect federal property. One of the complaints is, well, they're arresting people, but they're not on the federal property. Well, that's as crazy as expecting somebody who's committed an unlawful act to stand there and wait to be arrested on the property. That's not reality. When there's a crime, really the criminals stand around waiting for the police to show up and arrest them. They leave. The police have to go out and find them. Well, in this case, they've got enough eyes on the ground, eyes in the air, to be able to identify. Even with them all looking so similar, they've got enough technology that they're able to arrest, and they have been arresting people. And so, yeah, they have to go off of the federal property. In fact, the entire building now, the fence is on the street now to keep them that far away. And they've tried to light fires to a brick building. Go figure. These people might not be the most intelligent in the world, but we've seen it on the news. We've seen them throwing all this stuff over the fence. But this is what grieves me from the federal standpoint. Senator Merkley said, what we have seen in the last 10 days in Portland has been horrific and unconscionable. I agree with that statement, but you got to put it in context, because he's not talking about the rioters. He's talking about the federal law enforcement. Okay, so put that into context. With the federal law enforcement, what we have seen in the last 10 days in Portland has been horrific and unconscionable. Paramilitary forces in camouflage are grabbing people off the streets and putting them into unmarked vans. He makes no mention of the assault on the law enforcement officers. None whatsoever. So, yes, they're using unmarked vans. If they were marked vans, they would be vandalized.
Yeah.
You need to think outside the box here. And they're not just arresting just anybody. Are they going to accidentally pick up somebody? Yeah, but then they're going to release them. It happens with regular police. We've seen this happen where they arrest the wrong person because they fit so much what the other person looks like. If you don't want to get arrested, don't be there. It's that simple. The question is, why are they doing this? Because they want to overthrow our government. They want anarchy. They want no laws. They are, in my opinion, they're going to attempt to stay there as long as they can until the federal marshals leave. People were just starting to finally rebound after the COVID shutdown. They're finally starting to open up. And then these thugs come in and start, we've seen it all on the news, and start smashing the windows. And pilfering and stealing stuff that doesn't belong to you. What gives you the right to take other people's stuff? See, this is part of the tactics that people have been brainwashed in Marxism. And so people look it up. Get The Naked Communist by W. Cleon, and that's Leon with the C at the beginning, C-L-E-O-N, Skousen, S-K-O-U-S-E-N. And you can actually get it on Kindle for $10. And you can read what Marx and Engels, what their ideals were.
Karl Marx, yeah.
Yep, Karl Marx.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, real quick, I was at the dentist. The dental hygienist is from a communist country, and she is scared. Not in fear for her life, scared what she's seen happen to her adopted country, because she left communism. Then I went to
That's why everybody leaves their nation, because their nation has some sort of socialism, communism, tenets in the government that take away their freedom, and then they want to come to the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
what's going on?
yeah.
And I've had more immigrants say to me, Joe Ray, these people don't have any clue what they're doing. They don't know what they're asking for.
That's right.
Well, so then yesterday I was at a lunch meeting. The speaker was Manny Martinez. Manny is 85 years old. He's a former Cuban. He knows firsthand, just like Ari does, knows firsthand what communism really is. The freedom that you get under communism is the freedom they tell you you can have. If they can give it to you, they can take it away from you. You get to own what they say you can have. I went back to get my degree in political science. So 2013, the very last class that I signed up for, which the class was full, and I contacted the professor and said, I'm on the waiting list. I need this last class for my degree in non-Western culture. What's your dropout rate? He said, send me your student ID number, I'm putting you in the class. Now, I'd never met the professor until the first day of class. And I'm sitting in the very front. And he looks at this classroom, and he looks at all these young minds. Socialism and communism is bad. He has tears in his eyes. I could see the tears welling up in his eyes. The term goes on. And he looks at the class one day and he goes, my father, under Mao, committed suicide. His father was a doctor. Professor Ren was born and raised in communist China. Through the Cultural Revolution, going from a relatively free nation to straight out communism.
Wow.
This is a man, and I sat in his class for 10 weeks. And what I learned, and I told everybody, get in his class. Unfortunately, he retired. That was his last term. I was so riveted by a class that I really didn't want to take. Western, non-Western culture. What I learned blew me away. He had us watch a movie called To Live. And it's a historical allegory of what happened during the Cultural Revolution. It's all in Chinese. And so it's all English subtext. And when I was reading reviews, people going, it's the best movie I've ever seen. I'm going, yeah, whatever. I can tell you it is the best movie I've ever seen. That movie impacted me. To Live, L-I-V-E.
To Live.
To Live. And I watch that movie, friends. And then there's another movie I want to documentary. You may have heard of Out of Shadows. After you watch To Live, go to outofshadows.org. Not out of the shadows, out of shadows.org. And watch that movie, that documentary, 1 hour.
I've heard of that.
I had the time down exactly, 1 hour, 59 minutes, and anyway, I used to have it down. 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 59 seconds, there we go. So To Live, and then, yeah. But it gives you such a perspective. And this whole, what we're seeing in Portland. So a lot of people don't realize the importance of Oregon. See, in the political arena, we're told that we don't count. And that's a lie. Because we only have 7 electors towards the 246 electoral votes. We only have 7 of those. Well, those 7 can count big time. It could be that close. Oregon's a proving ground for radicalism. And people don't know that. I found out just before the primary that Portland is, are you ready for this? I don't know if you know this, Veronica, the human trafficking capital of the country.
Yeah. The underground,
I went back to get my degree.
it's called
in political
Shanghai
science.
Bar.
Yes.
Bad place, bad owners. Same with Voodoo Donuts.
Yep, yep. So
Do you know about all that?
Yep, I know about all that.
How about, do you know anything about, okay, I don't know this for sure, okay? I suspect Lloyd Center has a problem.
I don't know about the Lloyd Center. I know there's some other places that, but I don't remember them off the top
Okay.
of my head. One of my friends has been researching this and told me a lot of stuff. But I
want to talk to your, I want to talk to your friend then. Okay, so the underground tunnel. When I was in grade school, I got to go there. I was about 10. Really, really cool, really vast, a big underground tunnel under Portland.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And so I went to go back, and it's like, wow, it's closed. Well, you know, the history is Shanghai. So with the Shanghai bar, they
got the guys
Shanghai
so
people.
drunk. They got so drunk they had a trap door. So these guys would go there after work and they would get them super drunk, and there's a trap door, and the door would drop down. And it was pitch black, and then
Is this a history or is this current?
No, this is history. And
Okay.
they would drug them up with opioids, and
Okay.
then they would put them out on a boat in the middle of the ocean,
Yep.
and so they put them into slavery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
people, people don't realize that there's that history that because I mean the Chinese were kind of, they built the railroad, so there was a little bit of payback, I think, going on there.
Oh, is that right?
I think that's why they were doing it, is because they were kidnapping these men.
Uh-huh.
They were straight
So
out kidnapped.
the politicians, the local ones, the governor, the police, I suppose, the mayor.
The mayor.
Okay, are they playing any part in this? They must know.
I don't know.
At least some of them, at least the governor.
The governor does, in my opinion, the mayor does. When they're standing there with Antifa, with anarchy, and when Mayor Wheeler told his police officers in January 2017 to stand down when Antifa was rioting and attacking innocent people driving through Portland in their cars and just attacking them, totally unprovoked. And Mayor Wheeler says, stand down.
Huh.
He completely changed the dynamics in that city.
Yeah. But what does that have to do with human sex trafficking?
Well-
Antifa, is there a connection?
I don't know what this connection is with human sex trafficking. That part I don't know. There may be, but I know with Antifa, because he told the police to stand down and let Antifa riot and cause mayhem. They couldn't go arrest these people that are attacking people in their cars
Or destroying businesses.
or destroying businesses.
And probably most of the businesses there, the owners are liberal because
Yes,
it's Portland.
it's Portland.
Yeah.
And so they're getting fed up. So we need to, again, pray. Pray first. When all else fails, pray. No, pray first to keep all else from failing.
That's right.
And we need to do that. I did a live video the other night, and I said, I want to know where the churches in Portland are.
Yeah.
I want to know where the Spirit-filled churches are in Portland. Why are they not reaching out to each other and then starting to reach out down the valley and across the river into Vancouver and saying, okay, we need to have a day of prayer during the daytime. We need to surround the federal building, and we need to pray. Bring your shofars, oil, sing praises, pray in tongues, whatever works in your walk with the Lord. And we need to get all these churches there on the same day. We could put 10,000 people there. This is Oregon. There's enough Christians in this region that we could do that.
Yeah, we need to do that. I
And it
know
needs to be
I was
done.
there one time with my camera. This was like several years back, but changes, good things did take
Yeah.
place, and
what-
so maybe we need to,
We need to do that.
well, definitely we need to go back. And also, probably the main reason why Trump is so hated by the elites is because he knows about the human sex trafficking.
Yes, he
and he's
does.
trying to stop it. And people who are in that field, they know that it's been slowed down a lot because of Trump.
Yes.
So if you hate Trump, you might want to reconsider that.
You might, and all you have to do is go online and say, human trafficking arrest since Donald Trump became president, and you will be amazed. And people go, well, Joe Ray, why isn't it in the news? Because they don't want that in there, because it shows him doing something good.
Well, also because a lot of the elites are part of the problem because they make
That's
buku
what-
bucks. Yeah.
That's what now as a candidate, I'm waiting to see all the evidence, because that's me. But I'm
Yeah.
like that even when I wasn't a candidate. But I do know that President Trump, that is one of any.
You know
he
that's
talks
a fact.
about it. That is a
he's-
fact.
He's doing that, yeah.
Yeah, and he has talked about that a lot. This is about completely destroying our republic in every state. Is guaranteed a Republican form of government, not Republican as in party, but Republican as in we elect people to represent us. And they're taking that away from us to mob rule. That is what democracy is. And so when you hear people call this a democracy, our government is not supposed to be run by mob rule. But that's what they're letting happen in Portland. So if you want a democracy, that's what you're going to get.
And you might want to go to a different country. Because,
but where are you going to go? See,
well, we're mob rules, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, if you want to live in socialism or communism, I will come and help you pack.
There's plenty out there.
There's plenty out there to go to.
And nobody's happy. They want to come.
They want to come here.
Land
so America is the one country where people claim that they hate and refuse to leave.
Yeah.
But we're the one country
Isn't
where
that the
people leave everything they know, their family,
uh-huh.
their heritage, to come to a foreign land where they hardly know anybody, because they want the freedom that we're supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And they see us losing it.
And we welcome them in legally.
Come in the front door.
Yep.
I want to know who you are. And the odds are, if you come in the front door, the vast majority of people, we know this, are going to come in. Mm-hmm. Don't sneak in the back door.
You're right. Well, and also part of what's on your page, your website page, is the border and human sex trafficking. That's where it's coming in. That's why when Trump says we need to shut the border, it helps that immensely.
It does. And the separation of children from their parents is at least 30% of that is a myth. They started doing rapid DNA testing and finding out that in the range of 30% of the children coming across with an adult, they are not related at all. Zero relation.
And they're being sex trafficking.
They're being trafficked in. We don't know for what cause.
Yeah, could make lots of money through all those.
Somebody's
those
making
kids.
the money because people are getting paid or kids are being kidnapped. Now, here's a crazy thing. Veronica, you might know this number, but 800,000 children a year disappear in the United States. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
I looked that number up one day.
That's almost a million.
I went, how is this possible? Maybe it was 80,000. That's still a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids vanishing. Where are they vanishing to? I really encourage people to talk to people that have immigrated here in this area here. I'm going to guess you've got a fairly decent number of
Hispanics?
No, Slavic people.
Oh, do we?
I don't know. I'm in Lafayette. I know over in Woodburn, huge Slavic community, huge Russian old faith Russian old believers.
Oh, that's right.
Talk to them, ask them what it was like in their home country. And a lot of these are first and second generation immigrants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so
and there's we all have people. We all have tremendous amount of Hispanic friends, and that we can ask
absolutely.
Them what was it like where you lived?
Yeah, ask them. Corruption. You wanted corruption. That's why they fled.
Yeah, because government got too big.
Yep.
Government's not there to help. That's not why they want to grow, but government. They want to have their own little elite system of doing things that control, but they also want to have a lavish lifestyle, and they want to rip people off. That's how they can have their power and their money. Yep.
So to wrap this up, the number one duty of government is to protect the people from their enemies. And every elected official takes an oath of office to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Every person elected to a state office, every elected official in the state took that oath, and to also protect the Oregon Constitution. When I go to Washington, D.C., my oath will be to the Constitution, not to the Oregon Constitution.
Yeah.
So Mayor Wheeler, Governor Brown, they took a double oath.
Yeah.
And they're violating that oath, and they need to be called out on it, and we've got to start electing people. I'm a constitutionalist.
Yeah.
I will vote according to what the job says in the Constitution for the U.S. Senate.
Yep.
That's how I will always vote.
Yep. And her opponent, Senator Merkel, is violating the Constitution too, because he's not protecting the people when he wants to go against the federal government going in to protect the people. So
and to protect federal property, that's the craziest part, right?
Right.
The federal law enforcement comes in to protect a federal building on federal land.
Yep.
There we go.
Anything, he's not using his head, because that should be pretty self-explanatory.
Yep. And I believe in term limits, and this is his 12th year, and I believe 12 years is long enough to be in D.C., and that'll be my bill.
Get her.
12 years maximum. Joe Ray Perkins, your U.S. Senate nominee. I ask for your prayers, your vote, and if you're so inclined, your financial support to help us get this message throughout the state of Oregon.
Yep, I ditto that. Go on our website, send her a $5, $10 donation, even a little more. It's really hard to be a Republican and run in this state, man. So we need your support. We need you to be out there, knocking on doors if needed, volunteer, the Yamhill County Republicans, but there's other groups you can volunteer. And that's how we're going to get our state back. That's how we're going to stop human sex trafficking in Portland. Quit having the state be a safe haven for that junk.
That's right.
So,
and if you want to sign, it's on my website, perkinsforusenate.vote. I'm asking $20 because we end up mailing them, so we end up making about less than $5 on a sign when I have to mail it out. Because,
oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, I don't, $20 a month for a sign. Well, it's...
Yeah, you have to stuff in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And do that, go to our website. Have a good week. Bye-bye. Inspiration.
Arts and crafts.
Health and wellness.
Communication and information.
We're here to encourage and inspire you.
You have a gift? We know you do.
And so do we.
Whether you come in to look by or want to promote your gift, we invite you to come in because when we're working together, we can accomplish great things.